Today, we are going to discuss one of the worst environmental disasters in history, the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, which occurred on April 20, 2010. I am MD Muhibur Rahman from Electrical and Computer Engineering.
I'm Ashraful Hassan from Geomatics Engineering.
I'm Shah Manzar. I'm doing my master's in electrical and computer engineering.
Hello, my name is Nihal Rasik Bhai Patasna from Chemical Engineering.
I'm Augusto Christian. I'm doing a master in geomatics engineering.
Due to a catastrophic blowout at BP's Macondo well in the Gulf of Mexico, an explosion on the Deepwater Horizon rig triggered a massive uncontrolled oil spill lasting 87 days. Tragically, 11 workers lost their life, making a human cost alongside the environmental devastation. Efforts to control the spill failed, including attempts to seal the well with concrete. Even the blowout preventer, designed as a critical failsafe, failed, allowing an estimated 4.9 million barrels of oil to flow into the Gulf. Over 1,300 miles of shoreline were contaminated, causing severe damage to marine habitats, local ecosystem, and countless marine animals. BP faced a historic penalty of 20.8 billion, underscoring the profound environmental and social responsibilities of oil industry companies. This disaster serves as a critical reminder to the importance of rigorous safety measures and the ethical duty to protect human lives and the environment. Next.
I'm going to talk about the biases. First, profit over safety due to significant delays caused by the difficulties of drilling the Macondo well from the seabed. The project was 45 days behind schedule and 58 million US dollar over budget by April 20. There was some pressure to complete this project without more delays and cost overruns. This focus on meeting deadlines and minimizing expenses compromised critical safety protocols. Optimism bias. The Deepwater Horizon crew and BP had set a new record for the deepest well ever capped a few months prior. The crew's overconfidence in their skills was also influenced by this approval. 7 years before the explosion, there had not been a single accident or injury aboard that was deemed severe enough to cause operations to be halted. Several crew members were overconfident and felt secure that they would avoid accidents. Because of this optimism, the risk associated with the drilling activities were underestimated. Confirmation bias. Before the disaster, it was proposed that the observed pressure was caused by pressure transfer from the heavy mud in the riser via the blowout preventer rather than acknowledging that there was a problem with the well's integrity. The decision was made to repeat the negative pressure test using a different path called kill line. For 30 minutes, there was no sign of pressure buildup. Although the pressure in the drill pipe should have been the same as that in the kill line, it remained at under balanced levels, suggesting fluids were entering the well from the formation. However, BP concluded that the well's integrity had been verified after the kill line's negative pressure test was determined to be accurate. Overall implication, these biases in BP's culture, which demonstrated ignorance for ethical principles and safe engineering practices, brought attention to the need for greater transparency in high-risk industries.
So the system issues generally can be subdivided into technical and managerial issues. But in this case, we're going to take a general oversight or overlook on all the issues we have in the case of BP. The first one, we have regulatory oversight. The second one, we have safety culture. The third one, we have accountability framework, and we have systematic consequences. Now, when we talk about the regulatory oversight, this is when most government officials or government parastatals tend to give a shorter look on high profit earning companies, thereby giving them a free hand to do whatever they want to do because they do not scrutinize every activity they do because they feel they trust their safety culture. Now, in the case of BP, the safety culture was shown to be at -0% personally for me because they were unable to fine tune or to stop the carrying of the project since they noticed there's a problem with the cement block. Then we talk about the accountability framework when it comes to BP. Now, in this kind of system issue, you can see that BP refused to own up fully to what has happened. They end up trying to cover up their issues in order for the public to see they are at good terms with the public instead of going straight and saying it the way it is so that other companies can learn and understand from it. Then this system, the consequences of all these things they've done so far, has a high factor rich in operational environment. I mean, making the ocean not safe for animals and people trying to fish. Then we'll go straight to what is the lesson learned in this case. Now, there are several lessons we have to learn from this particular case study we have. But the major ones which I feel it is important for us to know is the safety case. We have the risk management, we have the clear communication, we have transparency, and we have continuous improvement. And we know from safety as an engineer, that is the watchword of every single engineer. You have to be safety conscious in everything you do. Then your risk management as an engineer, it is something in as much as it is a course on its own in a different academic section. But risk management is something every engineer needs to learn, needs to understand, needs to know because it's important for us to go ahead. It's important for us to excel and go ahead in whatever we are doing. And clear communications of every single event that has happened in our sites to maybe the regulatory bodies in order for them to find a mitigating strategy in nearest future. What is the actions that has to be done to mitigate all this? And that we're talking about now the future actions on this. Number one, we have to enhance the safety, which is the number one priority for every engineer. We have to invest in technology, not because of one particular technology looks cheaper. It doesn't mean it is the best to use. Sometimes we need to look for something expensive to get a better value because if BP had considered the other part of system used in building well instead of the cement that is already going down, then by now I believe we won't be talking about this case study. Then also transmission communication. You have to speak it, you have to say it the way it is, you have to clear it the way it is, you have to say it how it's supposed to be so that other people can learn from this.
So I'm going to briefly discuss about the connection of this topic to our course material. We have divided into three different categories: ethical decision making, engineering communication, system safety, and responsibility. So ethical decision making, we can relate it to the five design areas of design for ethics that we discussed in module 3. Engineering communication comes under leadership that was discussed in module 2. And finally, the engineers who work in these industries have significant responsibility towards the environment and safety of the society. This is why I think the EPEGA rules are so important. And in Rule 1, it clearly states to prioritize public interest, safety, and environment over anything else. So we're going to discuss about the time of events quickly. So first, on the 20th April, the wellhead blew out, and the next day the NOA was notified, and the pre-assessment of the load began. SCAT teams were approved, and a commission was announced on 22nd of May, and the leak was finally stopped in 10th July. Next. The SCAT teams completed their assessment by 14th April, and final count of 134 million gallons of oil spill was counted. And finally, a settlement of $8.8 billion was given. This map shows the affected area of the oil spill. Next slide. The pie chart here shows the oil that was dispersed, released into the ocean. As you can see from the chart, only 17% was directly recovered from the wellhead. The rest was either evaporated or chemically dispersed, both of which are extremely harmful for the environment. So next is our references, and thank you for our time. Okay.